Want to speak real Portuguese from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at PortuguesePod101.com.
Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Hi everybody, I'm Paloma. Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com's Português em 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Brazilian Portuguese. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Portuguese. As good manners are a must everywhere, today we are going to learn how to thank people. Vocês estão prontos? Are you ready? Vamos começar! Then let's start! There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the most common phrase, obrigado. Obrigado. Obrigado means thank you. To say thank you very much, you just need to add muito in the beginning. Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Muito means a lot. So, muito obrigado is like saying thank you very much. In the last lesson, we saw that Portuguese words may vary according to gender. You say obrigado if you are a man. If you are a woman, you should say obrigada. Obrigada. When someone thanks you, how should you answer? There are a few things you can say. The first is de nada. De nada. This means it's nothing. You're telling the person that it's nothing worth thanking you for. There's another phrase that is often used to mean you're welcome in Portuguese. Disponha. It means welcome in English, but it's not used as often as de nada. Time for another quiz. What do you say in these situations? Muito obrigada. Muito obrigado. De nada. Now it's time for Paloma's point. In Brazil, we sometimes cut words when we are talking. For example, it's very common to hear brigado instead of obrigado. Don't get confused between brigado, that means fight, and brigado, thank you. Do you know what tudo bem means? In our next lesson, you'll learn this and some other greetings in Portuguese. Até a próxima! Hi everyone, Paloma here. Welcome to Top 25 Portuguese Phrases. Oi, hi. Oi is a very common phrase in Brazil because when you meet someone, you want to greet him or her, you just say oi to everyone. You can also use olá, that is very common, but oi is more common than olá. Oi, gente. Hi everyone. Tudo bem? How are you? Tudo bem is a very useful phrase because it means a lot of things. It could be tudo bem? How are you? Or tudo bem? I'm fine. Or tudo bem? It's okay. So, whenever in any situation you can use tudo bem. Tudo bem comigo. Everything's fine with me. Que legal. That's nice. Que legal is also very useful because when you want to say that something is cool or something's nice or that you're excited about something, you just say que legal. So, que legal que você está aprendendo português. That's nice that you're learning Portuguese. Bom dia. Good morning. Bom dia is the way you greet people in the morning. To be a little more formal, instead of oi or olá, you can use bom dia. So, bom dia, tudo bom com a senhora? Good morning, how are you, madam? Boa tarde. Good afternoon. Boa tarde is the way you greet people afternoon until 5 or 6 p.m., until dawn. So, you could say, espero que você tenha uma boa tarde. I hope you have a good afternoon. Boa noite. Good evening. Boa noite is the way you greet people at night. So you can say good evening. Boa noite to someone on the street, but you can also say boa noite, good night to someone at home. Boa noite, mãe. Eu vou dormir. Good night, mom. I'm going to sleep. Prazer. Nice to meet you. Prazer is a nice phrase because it's actually a word, so it's very short. You can use more complex phrases like prazer em conhecê-lo or é prazer, but prazer is enough. Tchau. Bye. Tchau is the way you say bye to someone in Portuguese. So you can say tchau or tchau tchau, and that would be fine. So, eu vou dar tchau para minha amiga. I'm going to say bye to my friend. Estou bem, e você? I'm fine, and you? Estou bem means I'm fine. So if you're not fine, you can say estou mal, or não estou bem, I'm not fine. Como você está, or tudo bem? You can say estou bem. Por favor, please. Por favor is a very polite phrase that you need to know when you go to Brazil. So if you want to ask someone to bring you some water, you can say, por favor, você pode me trazer um pouco de água? Please, can you bring me some water? Obrigado. Obrigada. Thank you. Obrigado is super important because you need to thank people when you ask something. So, obrigado is how men would say it, and obrigado is how women say it. So, obrigada por assistir ao nosso vídeo. Thank you for watching our video. De nada. You're welcome. And de nada is the opposite now. So, when someone tells you obrigada, you can say de nada. De nada, é um prazer. You're welcome, it's a pleasure. Sim, yes. So, if someone asks you, do you want to learn Portuguese? You can just say, sim, yes. Sim, eu quero aprender português. Yes, I want to learn Portuguese. Não, no. So, não has a very unique sound in Portuguese because it's a nasal sound. Não. Tudo bem. Okay. So, as I said before, tudo bem is very useful. You can say tudo bem to maybe everything in Brazil. Você não quer sair? Tudo bem. You don't want to go out? That's okay. Com licença. Excuse me. When you bump to someone on the street or you want to pass through someone, you can say com licença or dá licença. Dá licença, posso passar? Excuse me, can I pass through? Desculpa, I'm sorry. Desculpa, não foi a minha intenção. I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention. When you hurt someone or when you bump into someone on the street or when you want to apologize to someone, you just say desculpa. Que horas são? What time is it? If you want to ask someone that you don't know what time is it, you can say com licença, senhor. Que horas são? Excuse me, sir. What time is it? Onde fica o location? Where's the location? If you really need to go to the restroom and you don't know where it is, you can say, onde fica o banheiro? Where's the restroom? Or if you want to find a beautiful beach that you heard about, you can say, onde fica a praia? Where's the beach? O meu nome é? My name is? This one is very easy and useful. So, o meu nome é Paloma. My name is Paloma. Qual o seu nome? What's your name? Por quê? Why? If you want to ask someone, por que você chegou atrasado? Why were you late? Or if you want to complain with your boyfriend, say, por que você não me ligou? Why didn't you call me? Se cuida. Take care. Usually when we say goodbye to people, we also say se cuida. Take care. So, tchau amigo, se cuida. Bye my friend, take care. Quanto que fica? How much is it? So if you're shopping in Brazil and you buy a lot of stuff, you can just ask, quanto que fica? How much is it for the total of things you're buying? But if you want to ask just the price of a shirt, you can say, quanto custa esta camiseta? How much is this shirt? Yeah, that's a very useful phrase if you want to buy something in Brazil. Até mais. See you soon. Até mais is another way to say bye to someone. So you can say, yeah, we have trains and helicopters around. Até mais the way to say bye to someone, and it actually means until more, but you can say just até mais or até amanhã, see you tomorrow, até mais tarde, see you later. So, até mais. Vamos embora. Let's go. Okay, so my final phrase is vamos embora, let's go or let's leave. You can also say vamos embora or vambora. That is the fastest way to say it. We use it, for example, if a party is too boring and you can say que festa chata, vamos embora. What a boring party, let's leave. Or vambora, eu quero ir pra lá. Let's go, I wanna go there. O vídeo está acabando, então vamos embora. The video is ending then, let's leave. See you. Tchau, tchau. Obrigada.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Hi everybody, I'm Paloma. Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com's Português em 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Portuguese. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase Com licença, você fala inglês? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the phrase Com licença, which means excuse me in Portuguese. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use Com licença and other words when apologizing in Portuguese. We should use com licença to get someone's attention, such as when you want to pass by them. For example, com licença, eu posso passar? Excuse me, may I pass by you? We can also use it when asking a question. Com licença, você sabe onde fica a praia de Copacabana? Excuse me, do you know where Copacabana Beach is? Another similar phrase is desculpa. This word literally means without guilt, but we use it similarly to the English I'm sorry. Desculpa. Desculpa can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But what if you really want to apologize for something? There is a different phrase you might want to use. Você me desculpa? Would you forgive me? Você me desculpa. First, we have você, that means you, followed by me, which means me, and the verb desculpar referring to você, which is desculpa or forgive. One last way to apologize is using perdão, the same as pardon in English, but this is not used as much as desculpa in Brazil. Perdão. And what to answer when someone says desculpa? There are many ways to answer. You can say tudo bem. Everything's fine. Tudo bem. Or não tem problema. No problem. Não tem problema. Or não se preocupe. Don't worry. Não se preocupe. Following the verb desculpa, you can also answer está desculpado. You're forgiven. Está desculpado. Now it's time for Paloma's points. Brazilians tend to exaggerate. You might hear mil desculpas or I'm sorry 1,000 times, or even bigger numbers as millão, a million, to express they are really, really sorry. Speaking of numbers, are you able to count in Portuguese? In the next lesson, we'll learn the numbers in Portuguese from 1 to 10. I'll be waiting for you in our next Português em 3 minutos lesson. Até a próxima!
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Portuguese. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Anna.
In this lesson, we'll focus on teaching you the most useful Portuguese words and phrases for absolute beginners.
Make sure you are repeating the words out loud after I say the examples.
Are you ready? Let's get started. The best phrase to learn when studying a new language is one that expresses gratitude and appreciation. If you had to learn only a single phrase, this would be it.
We taught you this word in the first lesson of the series. Do you remember what it was? Obrigado, obrigada. It means thank you. Say obrigado if you're a male, or obrigada if you're a female. Obrigado, obrigada.
Keep repeating after Anna until you get it.
Obrigado, obrigada.
Your turn.
Obrigado, obrigada. Obrigado, obrigada.
Do you remember how we talked about pronunciation of the letter R here in Lesson 2? Don't pronounce it like an English R. Don't roll your tongue. Listen to how Anna is pronouncing this sound.
Ri.
Think of the quick tapping motion your tongue makes as it strikes the top gum ridge in words like ladder or butter.
Ri. Ri.
Altogether, it's...
Obrigado. Obrigada.
Okay, one last time.
Obrigado. Obrigada.
Okay, the next phrase we'll teach you is perhaps the second most useful phrase of all. It's to excuse yourself.
Com licença. It means excuse me. Com licença.
Use this phrase when you want to grab someone's attention or when you brush by someone in the streets.
Com licença.
If you recall, we talked about nasal vowels in Lesson 2 too, like this one.
N.
To pronounce it, you need to lower your soft palate and the back of your tongue, unblocking the nasal passage and allowing air to pass through the nasal cavity and out through the nose. Imagine you're humming with your mouth open and add the E vowel sound to it.
N.
Now you try.
N.
Again.
N.
Altogether, it's...
Com licença.
On a daily basis, Brazilians tend to drop the first word, saying simply...
Licença.
And what about showing forgiveness? This is very important in any country. In Brazilian Portuguese, the most common way to say I'm sorry is...
Me desculpe.
On a daily basis, people often drop the pronoun me, saying just...
Desculpe. But it can also be said me desculpa or simply desculpa.
Both ways are correct. Note that this variation is due to conjugation aspects, and it's not gender related. You can say both ways regardless of your gender. Let's listen.
Me desculpe. Desculpa.
It's very useful when you bump into someone when taking the busy subway lines of Sao Paulo. Let's practice a little.
Me desculpe.
Now you try.
Me desculpe.
Now let's try the variation.
Desculpa. Desculpa.
One last time.
Desculpa.
Great! Now you can say thank you, excuse me, and I'm sorry in Portuguese. Let's move on. Asking where something is an incredibly important and useful phrase to learn. You're going to need this when asking where the bathroom, the subway station, the bus stop, or where the hotel is.
To ask where something is, you should say onde fica? Then you should verify the gender of the location you want to know about, so you can place the proper article, feminine, a, or masculine, o. Onde fica a, o? Lastly, add the location. If you want to know where the bathroom is, you should say onde fica o banheiro?
The word for bathroom in Portuguese is a masculine gender. So, like Anna said, we put the definite masculine article o before the noun.
Onde fica o banheiro?
For the subway station, it'll be...
Onde fica o metrô?
And so on. Just remember the gender to use the correct article. Let's see some vocabulary that you can use in this sentence. Here are some of the most common words you'll need to learn.
Banheiro.
Bathroom.
Banheiro. Onde fica o banheiro?
Next.
Metrô.
Subway.
Metrô. Onde fica o metrô?
If you ask this question, they'll direct you to the closest subway station. If you'd like to ask where a specific station is, simply place the name of the station after subway.
Onde fica o metrô Consolação?
Or you can just say station instead of subway.
Onde fica a estação Consolação?
Next.
Hotel.
Hotel. See that in Portuguese, H as the first letter is always silent, except for specific foreign loanwords.
Hotel. Onde fica o hotel?
For a specific hotel, do the same as before. Just place the name after hotel.
Hotel. Hotel Intercontinental. Onde fica o Hotel Intercontinental?
Next,
Padaria.
bakery.
Bakeries, especially in São Paulo, are really popular. There are a lot of bakeries in the city, and they usually are a blend of a bakery, a deli, a coffee shop, a restaurant, and a pizza parlor, all in one place. Often, even a mini market as well, and sometimes acting as a bar at night. There are enormous franchise bakeries as well as smaller family ones. So knowing this is extremely useful, especially in São Paulo.
Okay, so how do we ask where the bakery is?
Onde fica a padaria?
You can substitute almost anything and simply add
Onde fica a
to ask where something is in Portuguese. In this final lesson, you learned how to say thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry, and to ask where something is in Portuguese. And in this series, we introduced you to the basics of Portuguese pronunciation, grammar, writing, and more. Let's conclude with some parting advice from Ana and listen to some of her tips on how to learn Portuguese from a native Brazilian perspective.
The best way to learn Portuguese, particularly if you want to improve your communication skills, is to watch and study contemporary Brazilian videos like soap operas and news programs. That way you can learn expressions and the peculiarities of pronunciation that you can't learn from regular grammar books and methods. A great way to learn, which is also pleasant, is studying with MPB, Brazilian popular music. Brazil is famous for its unique type of music, and the lyrics usually mix formal and informal Portuguese in a rich and poetic way. You can increase your vocabulary while enjoying good music and learning more about the country's culture and history. A big mistake I see learners make is not asking native speakers for help with the language. Brazilians are in general very warm and receptive, and they want to be polite, so they won't correct your grammar or pronunciation. They're usually flattered and happy to see the effort in Portuguese, so they reciprocate with doing their best to understand foreigners and not paying attention to their mistakes. Because of that, a lot of learners end up plateauing in their Portuguese by getting too comfortable. Don't do that. Ask your Brazilian friends and colleagues to help and correct you. Tell them it will not offend you. On the contrary, it will make you very happy. If you are not in Brazil, a tip is to browse the web for Brazilians who are willing to be your friends. It shouldn't be difficult. Practice your pronunciation a lot and try your best to remember noun genders. Make a list if you need. It's very common for learners to mix the genders up, as there is no exact rule to determine when a noun is masculine or feminine. Watching contemporary videos, such as our videos here at Portuguese Pod 101, will ensure that you are learning real, applicable Portuguese in the fastest and most effective way.
You've reached the end of this course, Introduction to Portuguese, but it's only the beginning of your journey to Portuguese fluency. Where do you go from here? Try our Portuguese in 3 Minutes series, where we teach you beginner vocabulary and even more useful phrases. Or check out any of our other video series. We have many different categories for you to choose from. Good luck as you continue learning Portuguese, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!
Bye!
Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Portuguese Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn all 13 Portuguese vowel sounds. A, E, P, em, I, in, O, o, on, u, By learning all of these sounds, you'll be able to pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in Portuguese. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
A. Lá, alface, amor.
This vowel sound is very similar to the A in father. This vowel sound is considered an open A sound because the jaw is low and the mouth is wide and open. Listen to how Jade pronounces this vowel.
A. 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 A.
The next vowel is
Manhã, cama, banana.
This vowel sound is similar to the previous sound, except that it's the closed variant of the A sound. Compared to the previous sound, the jaw isn't opened as wide. It kind of sounds like the U in but. However, try to relieve the pressure from the back of the mouth slightly by moving the tongue forward a little. Pronouncing this sound quickly can also help with the pronunciation of this sound.
A. 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 A.
The next vowel is
Ângulo, lã, São Paulo.
This is identical to the previous vowel sound, except there's nasalization. Nasalization means to pronounce it through the nose. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth and follow the groove to the back of the mouth. Could you feel the bone at the roof of your mouth? As you move further to the back of the roof of the mouth, there is a fleshy section that doesn't contain bone. This soft tissue that hangs at the back of the roof of the mouth is called the velum. The velum is raised when pronouncing oral sounds. To produce nasality, lower the velum to allow air to travel freely into the nasal cavity and out through the nose. Listen to Jade pronounce this nasal vowel.
Ân. 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 Ân.
The next vowel is
É. Serra, meta, café.
This vowel sound is identical to the E in set. It's known as the open E sound in Portuguese.
É. 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 É.
The next vowel is
E. Ser, medo.
It's similar to the E in the word ne. However, try not to carry over the I sound too much. This is known as the closed E sound in Portuguese.
E. 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 E.
The next vowel is
Em. Centro, sempre, essência.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with nasalization. Remember, you want to pronounce it through your nose.
Em. 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 Em.
The next vowel is
I. Sinal. Dia. País.
This is identical to the I in the word ski. The vowel I doesn't have any open or closed variants.
I. 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 I.
The next vowel is
Em. Sinto. Sim. Ímpar.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with nasalization.
Em. 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 Em.
The next vowel is
Ó. Avó. Famosa. Óculos.
This is identical to the O in the word hot. This sound is known as the open O sound in Portuguese.
O, 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 O.
The next vowel is
O. Avô, oliveira, ovo.
This is similar to the previous sound, except that it's the closed version. This means that the mouth and tongue are positioned a little bit higher. It's quite similar to the O sound in the word coal. Listen to Jade.
O, O. O, O.
The next vowel is
On. Conto, vontade, bom.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with nasalization.
On, on. On, on.
The next vowel is
U, rua. Saúde, maduro.
This is identical to the U in the word rule. There are no open or closed variants for the U sound in Portuguese.
U, U. U, U.
The last vowel sound for this lesson is
Fungo, algum, cúmplice.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with nasalization.
Um. Um.
Well done! You've just learned all 13 vowel sounds in Portuguese. With these sounds, you can pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in the Portuguese language. Isn't that great? Which vowel sound was the most difficult for you to pronounce? Let us know in the comments. In the next lesson, you'll start learning consonant sounds. See you in the next Ultimate Portuguese Pronunciation Guide lesson. Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com Português em 3 minutos. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Brazilian Portuguese. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer. Hi, I'm Paloma. Nice to meet you. In this series, we are going to learn basic Portuguese expressions. It's super easy and it takes only 3 minutes. It also takes only 3 sentences. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Portuguese. It may vary a little depending on the person you're talking to. Let's first take a look at the most common way. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Hi, I'm Paloma. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Start by saying, Oi, meu nome é. Then say your name. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Finally, say, prazer em conhecê-lo. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Please pay attention to the end of the sentence. This version is only used if you're introducing yourself to a man, because you say conhecê-lo. If you're introducing yourself to a woman, you should use conhecê-la. So the full sentence to introduce yourself to a woman would be Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-la. Here's a quick tip to help you if you don't remember which article to use in the end of the sentence. Just use prazer. Prazer. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer. Let's check what you've learned. Based on who I'm talking to, try to remember how to introduce yourself. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-la. Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Prazer em conhecê-lo. When introducing yourself in Brazil, it's polite to shake hands. This is used in formal situations. In a more informal situation, people may kiss you on the cheek. The number of kisses may vary from person to person or region. Some people only kiss once, but others may kiss you 2 or even 3 times. Now it's time for Paloma's point. If you're introducing yourself to a group, you should say either conhecê-los or conhecê-las. If the group is all men or a mix of men and women, say conhecê-los. If the group is woman only, use conhecê-las. Do you know how to say thank you in Portuguese? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. Tchau, tchau! See you then! Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com's Português em 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Brazilian Portuguese. In the last lesson, we learned how to thank people by saying muito obrigado and how to reply with de nada. Today, we'll learn some common ways to say hello and goodbye in Brazil. Vocês estão prontos? Are you ready? Then, let's start! The most common informal greeting is Oi! Oi. Oi means hello. We say it when we meet someone. You may also say olá. That also means hello. Olá. Another common greeting that you hear a lot in Brazil and at PortuguesePod101.com is tudo bem. Tudo bem? Tudo bem means is everything fine? We use it usually together with oi or olá to greet someone. Altogether, you can say Oi, tudo bem? Oi, tudo bem? Tudo bem is a question, but it can also be the answer. Just say tudo bem, which means everything is fine. At the end, you can add e você. And you? Tudo bem, e você? Tudo bem, e você? When it's time to leave, we have a couple of different ways to say goodbye. You may say tchau. Tchau means bye. Tchau. You can also say see you soon. Até mais. Até mais. You also have adeus, which means goodbye, but you usually use it when the person is leaving to somewhere far or you're not going to meet for some time. Adeus. You learned a lot of new phrases today. Let's review with a quiz. What do you say in these situations? Oi. Olá. Oi, tudo bem? Tudo bem, e você? Tchau, até mais. Adeus. You now know lots of ways to greet people in Portuguese. Now it's time for Paloma's point. You often hear people saying tudo bom instead of tudo bem in Brazil. Bem means well and bom means good, but you usually use both in the same situations. Although tudo bem is more grammatically correct. During the next lesson, we'll talk about the phrase Desculpa, você fala inglês? Do you know what it means? Learn about it and much more in the next Português em 3 minutos lesson. Tchau, tchau! Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Hi everybody, I'm Paloma. Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com's Português em 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Portuguese. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Portuguese. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we are going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Portuguese, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Você fala inglês? Você fala inglês? In Portuguese, verbs change depending on the pronoun that is used. Please notice the word você in the beginning of the sentence. This is the informal way to say you. The next word is the verb falar, which means to speak. Because it's referring to você, it is conjugated to você fala. And you probably recognize inglês to be English. Você fala inglês? To learn how to properly conjugate verbs in Portuguese, like falar, please look at our beginner series on PortuguesePod101.com. You can find very detailed grammar lessons and resources there. If you're talking with young people or someone the same age as you can add a small word to sound more natural. Moço, meaning boy, and moça, girl. It is common to address the people around you like this. Moço, moço. Moça, moça. Moço, você fala inglês? Moça, você fala inglês? Now we'll see how to talk with a person older than you. It is very easy. You just need to change você into o senhor or a senhora. That means sir and madam in English. Everything else stays the same. O senhor fala inglês? O senhor fala inglês? A senhora fala inglês? A senhora fala inglês? Adding com licença, excuse me, the sentence becomes more polite. Com licença, moço, você fala inglês? Com licença, moço, você fala inglês? Or, com licença, o senhor fala inglês? Com licença, o senhor fala inglês? The responses you receive could be one of these three. Sim, yes. Sim. Pouco, a little. Pouco. Não, eu não falo inglês. No, I don't speak English. Não, eu não falo inglês. Since this last one is a negative statement, we need to say não before the verb falar. It is conjugated in the first person, eu falo. So, I don't speak is eu não falo. Now it's time for Paloma's point. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any other language you need. Some people in Brazil study other languages at school, so maybe you get lucky. Just substitute English with Italiano for Italian, Russo for Russian, Espanhol for Spanish, Alemão for German, or any other language. In this lesson, we mentioned the expression com licença. But did you know that this could also be used as an apology? In the next lesson, we'll learn this and other ways to apologize in Portuguese. It's never too late to show your good manners with Brazilian people. I'll see you in our next Português em 3 minutos lesson. Até mais! Oi, meu nome é Paloma. Hi everybody, I'm Paloma. Welcome to PortuguesePod101.com's Português em 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Portuguese. In the last lesson, we learned some words used when apologizing in Portuguese, including com licença and desculpa. In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Portuguese. Yes, numbers, os números, from 1 to 10. And you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes. 3 minutos. Are you ready? Let's start! 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job! What is before Do you know? It's the same as in English, but with a different pronunciation. Zero. Zero. You don't have any more excuses. You can give your friends your cell phone number in Portuguese. Let's try together. We use the phrase o meu número é, which means my number is. O meu número é. O meu número é 97865770. Can you read it by yourself? 97865770. Perfect! Now it's time for Paloma's point. When you say your telephone number in Brazil, we sometimes use the word meia instead of the number 6. It means half and is an abbreviation of half a dozen, meia dúzia. Do you know the Portuguese word for 100? In the next lesson, we are going to learn the numbers from 11 to 100 in Portuguese. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson, from 1 to 10. Até a próxima!
In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Portuguese. Hello everybody, my name is Jade Furuta. Welcome to the 800 Core Portuguese Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Portuguese. But there is a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at PortuguesePod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally, master Portuguese. Okay, let's get started. First is Olá. Hello. Olá. Olá. Hello. Olá. Como vai? Hello. How are you? Olá. Como vai? Com licença. Excuse me. Com licença. Com licença. Excuse me. Com licença. Posso passar? Excuse me. May I pass? Com licença. Posso passar? Desculpe. I'm sorry. Desculpe. Desculpe. I'm sorry. Desculpe por tudo. I'm sorry for everything. Desculpe por tudo. Boa noite. Good night. Boa noite. Boa noite. Good night. Boa noite, mamãe. Good night, mommy. Boa ti. Mãe. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Nice to meet you. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Nice to meet you. Eu sou Sarah Jones. Prazer em conhecê-lo. I am Sarah Jones. Nice to meet you. Eu sou Sarah Jones. Prazer em conhecê-lo. Como vai? How are you? Como vai? Como vai? How are you? Como vai? Eu estou bem. How are you? I'm fine. Como vai? Eu estou bem. Sim. Yes. Sim. Sim. Yes. Ela disse que sim. She said yes. Ela disse que sim. Não. No. Não. Não. No. Não, obrigado. No thanks. Não, obrigado. Obrigado. Thank you. Obrigado. Obrigado. Thank you. Muito obrigado. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Eu sou. I'm. Eu sou. Eu sou. I am. Eu sou Ana. I'm Anna. Eu sou Ana. Adeus. Goodbye. Adeus. Adeus. Goodbye. É triste dizer adeus. It's sad to say goodbye. É triste dizer adeus. Mal. Bad. Mal. Mal. Bad. O homem é mau. The man is bad. O homem é mau. Bom. Good. Bom. Bom. Good. Ela é uma pessoa boa. She's a good person. Ela é uma pessoa boa, bonita. Pretty. Bonita. Bonita. Pretty. Ela é tão bonita. She's so pretty. Ela é tão bonita. Feio. Ugly. Feio. Feio. Ugly. Aquele é um cachorro muito feio. That is a very ugly dog. Aquele é um cachorro muito feio. Fácil. Easy. Fácil. Fácil. Easy. Não vai ser fácil. It won't be easy. Não vai ser fácil. Difícil. Difficult. Difícil. Difícil. Difficult. Inglês é difícil. English is difficult. Inglês é difícil. Perto. Near. Perto. Perto. Near. Eu moro perto da universidade. I live near the university. Eu moro perto da universidade. Longe. Far. Longe. Longe. Far. A estação é longe daqui. The station is far from here. A estação é longe daqui. Pequeno. Small. Pequeno. Pequeno. Small. O meu quarto é muito pequeno. My room is very small. O meu quarto é muito pequeno. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at PortuguesePod101.com. To get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You also get the example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! Ciao, ciao!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.